How's it going, guys? Today we're talking Hacksaw Ridge, directed by Mel Gibson, and stars the former Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, Vince Vaughn, and Avatar Terminator Salvation star Sam Worthington. Now, the movie is based on true events that happened, and it's about a soldier who was drafted during World War II, and he wanted to become a medic, but before he could become a medic, he had to pass all the tests necessary, including the firearms test. But this man refused to pick up a weapon for religious reasons, and the entire movie, everyone is going against this guy. They want this guy out of the army. He is a disgrace to the army. The guy doesn't, here people are losing lives, and he doesn't want to pick up a weapon. But he proclaims that he's not there to kill people. He's there to save lives. And this turned out to be a really good film directed by Mel Gibson. It is really nice to see Mel Gibson back to form, but creating movies. Now, with a lot of his movies like Passion of the Christ, Apocalypto, they're very brutal, violent films. And I find it a little funny. And I'm like, well, how could this movie be any violent? It's about a guy who's being a pacifist. And I gotta say, this is like probably the most brutal, the most bloodshed film of the entire year. Mel Gibson did a really fantastic job with this film. I really enjoyed watching this movie. Andrew Garfield, he's not playing Spider-Man anymore, and I think it might have actually helped him because after this movie, people are going to be given him more dramatic roles because Andrew Garfield gave the performance of his life, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets nominated for like Oscars or Golden Globes or anything, because the guy certainly deserves it. He surprised me. I did not know that he could put on a performance like that. He was really incredible in the movie. Hugo Weaving is also in this movie. He plays the abusive father. I thought he did a really great job. Vince Vaughn is another surprise. I mean, Vince Vaughn, he's kind of like a lot of other actors that I've seen, like Robert Downey Jr. They play the same person in every movie. And in this movie, it was, I was kind of surprised that he actually did a pretty good job. I didn't know if I was going to take him seriously in the movie, considering all the comedies that he does, but he did pretty well in the movie playing the drill sergeant. Sam Worthington, he's pretty decent in this movie as well. What this movie reminds me of is kind of a little bit of Saving Private Ryan. You feel like you're there when you're watching this movie. It's so lifelike, and Mel Gibson really captured the authenticity of this war and the battles that are going on. I really enjoyed the cinematography in this movie. It was incredible to see some of the stuff. There's a lot of bloodshed. There's a lot of gore. It's a little too violent even to say. But this has come to be Mel Gibson's style. One of the things I was thinking about going into this movie was like how religion was going to play into this, because I know Mel Gibson always tries to throw something religious in all of his movies. And Passion of the Christ, is a watchable movie. It's a religious film, but it is a watchable film for those who don't believe in that. And after I saw this movie, this is actually a religious film per se, but it's not a movie that shoves religion down your throat like some other movies that came out this year, like Risen, for instance, or The Young Messiah. This one is more like Passion of the Christ. It's a movie you don't have to be religious to watch, and you can still enjoy. And that's always what I ask for in these types of movies, and that's always good to see. Some of the problems in this movie, there really aren't any problems. This is a pretty solid, really good film, but the only problems I had was towards the end of the movie. In fact, the ending of the movie. And that was, they built the characters so well, especially Hugo Weaving's character as the father of Desmond Doss. And I wish at the end of the movie we got to see the father and Desmond Doss's fiance. And unfortunately, we don't cut to that scene. They're like, and instead they do subtext on the bottom when we see what happens to all these characters, because this is based on a true story, so they kind of they tell us what happened with each character, kind of. A little bit lazy. I wish they actually would have showed the characters, because the acting is really good. It's one of the positives of this movie, and I would see like a movie that when it's struggling, and that's where you would do the subtext and say, well, this and this happened. But here it wasn't needed, and I really wanted to see the reaction from, the father and the fiance, and we didn't get it in the movie. And then at the very end of the movie, they attached this documentary to the very end of the film, and it's kind of, I understand why they would do it. They want to show the real-life veterans, but it just feels a little bit out of place, and they don't add anything to the movie because they are repeating the same exact thing that was already mentioned in the movie. Like, they start quoting things that were said in the movie, and I'm like, why are you doing this? This isn't adding anything to the story. just kind of hurt the film. The ending just didn't satisfy me. They could have ended it much better. I don't know what happened there, but that ending just kind of killed it for me there. But otherwise, I mean, that's really minor. This was a really great film, one of the best movies of the year, I would say. It's got a solid story, it's got great cinematography, and great acting. Though I will say, one point in the movie, Sam Worthington's Australian accent kicks in, and it's like, he totally forgot that he was playing an American. But otherwise, that's really minor. There's really nothing, just right now I'm just like really nitpicking at this film, but this was a really solid film. I wouldn't say it has like a whole lot of rewatchability, but I mean, seriously, I mean, it's a very brutal film. Typically, films like that you cannot go back and watch like every day, like Saving Private Ryan or Passion of the Christ. So this one has some rewatchability, just not a whole lot. Just a really great film. We don't get really great war films anymore, and this was a nice addition. I'm going to be giving Hacksaw Ridge a B+. So, a very good film. The ending needed a little bit work. Some people might be bothered by the beginning because it is a little bit slow. It didn't bother me. And there is like this romance that they're building in the beginning of the movie. I thought it was kind of cute and it didn't bother me. Some people might not like it as much. But otherwise, a very solid film. If you're thinking about seeing any movie, go check this movie out because I think it's better than Doctor Strange. But Doctor Strange, again, is a pretty solid film as well. So, if you're choosing one of the two, I would say Hacksaw Ridge, but definitely go check out Doctor Strange as well. We got two really good films out in theaters right now, so don't miss an opportunity to watch any of the two, really. But anyway, guys, that is my review of Hacksaw Ridge. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up down on the bottom there. Comment your thoughts down below if you've seen the movie, if you're going to see the movie, if you're excited to see it. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time for more unboxings, reviews, and movie news.